it's the first time in a while we've actually made some money in crypto. Time to celebrate. It's a good day for everybody today, and it's one that we want to keep going. We want many good days like this in the future, where GrayScale loses to the SEC and the entire crypto market pumps up out of nowhere and yields some very, very nice profits. Now today, I've got a trade open. It's currently about $7,000 in a profit. I was pretty late to the trade, but still making some nice profits there. And the question is this good bullish trend going to continue, or is it going to end just as fast as it has begun? Today, we're going to discuss that on the channel. Make sure you've dropped a like on this video. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Turn on those channel notifications. And I am going to pull this curtain on because, again, the computer screen does not like how bright the sun is today. However, the price of Bitcoin is looking very nice and bright as well, as we have a $7,000 profit here on this trade. Now, this trade is a trade that I opened at $27,268. It is only a 10 Bitcoin trade, so what's that, about $300,000. Not a mega trade, but to be honest, there could be some mega trades to be had at this point in time because of the news that came out today about Bitcoin rallying more than 6% as the court sides with GrayScale over the SEC in the crypto ETF case. What is all of this about? Well, in short, as we all know, the SEC is a bad, evil organization that wants to crush our entire industry. Now, they've been trying that for years and years and years, but these ETF rejections that they keep putting through are getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And in the case of GrayScale's last Bitcoin ETF rejection, it was rejected for no reason at all. They didn't actually specify a specific reason. So that case has been overturned. It looks very likely at this point in time there will be a Bitcoin ETF approved within the next 3 to 6 months. It is highly unlikely they reject it again without a good reason, of which they don't have one to reject it because there is significant demand there for it. It looks like this is finally going to happen. We're finally going to get that Bitcoin ETF here, and the entire market's just picking up and looking great, to be honest. So we've got $7,000 profit on the board right now. But what are we intending to do here to make a continued profit going forward? Of course, I am trading on BYBIT. I'm just not looking into my computer here. If you are interested in trading, you'll find a link to BYBIT in today's video description. Check it out. It's the best trading exchange. You'll also find at the top of the screen somewhere a little thing that'll pop out with a trading tutorial. If you want to learn more about trading, watch the trading tutorial. It's completely free. Don't want your money. And again, if you want to learn even more about trading, then go to Crypto Saving Experts website. If you go onto this is the news that we're going to go for in just a second. If you go into guide section, for example, and then you go onto trading, there's a whole section here that tells you how to trade and make money for free. So check that out. Anyway, going back, we've got some more news to discuss today with GBTC rocketing after GrayScale lawsuit news. This is fantastic, fantastic news. And can a spot Bitcoin ETF come? Well, basically, spot Bitcoin ETF may be incoming. US court overturns the SEC's ruling against GrayScale. It's looking very, very strong right now for what is going on in the markets, and everything is looking so much better. The court's decision follows several licensed institutions applying for spot Bitcoin ETF, including BlackRock, Investico, and Valkyrie. The filing by BlackRock in particular has prompted optimism that such an ETF will get eventually approved, given that BlackRock has only entered one ETF that has ever been rejected. BlackRock's ETF, it was, I can't remember the specific figures, but it's something like they've applied for 600 and one of them has been rejected. So the odds of it being rejected are insanely low. The fact that it was rejected first time out raised suspicions because BlackRock doesn't apply for ETFs and not get them. So this is just really, really good news. Overall, the crypto market is looking very, very strong. The dollar, again, dropping down today, losing some of that dominance that it's seen in recent days. How is the stock market performing today as well? Well, stock market is up. Stock market's looking very strong, up 1.27%. Bitcoin is actually outperforming the stock market, but there may be a potential short here to be had on the stock market if that trend continues with the downsideness that it's been experiencing recently. However, on price of Bitcoin, what are we experiencing right now? Well, it's clear to me at this point, Bitcoin peaked at this level right here at about $28,230. It failed to break above that level. Again, you shouldn't really be expecting it after a big bump up like that. But that is the next key level of which Bitcoin needs to break. At this point in time, it probably makes sense for me to take that profit out of that trade and look to re-enter the trade at a lower level. So that's probably what I'm going to do. In fact, exercising discipline, if we hit $7,000 again during the course of today's stream, Ethereum, I will close that trade and just bank the profit. Nice 7 grand for a morning's work. Who doesn't like to make 7 grand in the morning? Now, anyway, look at the view outside today. Very nice view. That's the big old CN Tower up there, and that's Toronto. I can give you a full kind of, there we go. Look at that. Very nice. It looks even nicer today, being that the sun is out, and of course, Bitcoin is out as well. Very good. Pretty rare occurrence. But anyway, looking at these price levels, let's drop down onto some lower time frames and assess what has happened at this point in time and what we can expect to happen going forward. Well, looking at this right here, we have a target to the downside of around 28,636. Actually, wouldn't be surprised to see that level hit before we drop back to the downside again. That would also make sense with a coinciding of a retest of the underside of that level of resistance. It's support turn resistance at this point in time, and to be honest, you'd expect to come up and hit it. That'd be the ideal place for me to be taking profit on this trade. So that's kind of what I'm holding out for. It's just if we hit 7 grand during the course of today's video on profit again, then I will close that trade. Now, $27,910, everything's looking so much better than what it has been doing recently. But look at the 4 hour again. I'm also looking for these volume bands here. You can see that we're at a bit of a peak, and then there's really not that much to take us back up to the higher levels. But really, you can't read too much into that because it's all looking fairly flat, to be honest, and it does, you can't just read that much into it, to be honest. Looking at the 1 hour, how is the bands looking on the 1 hour? Well, again, very similar. If we manage to break through that level of resistance, then yes, it should be likely that we come up and retest the underside there. However, how are the indicators looking right now? Well, we do know that recently the RSI on the 4 hour, I think it was, had never actually been as low as what it was, but it's back to being high again. It doesn't take long for these indicators to reset. But on a daily, I think that the RSI is still going to be fairly low, or at least on the weekly. Yeah, the weekly, the RSI is looking not amazing, which is good. It means that there's lots of space left to the upside. That's kind of what you want to be seeing. If I just scroll down on this a little bit again, yeah, so we're technically bearish still on the weekly MACD, which is pretty good news. And if we go over to the daily chart here, on the daily, we're just ticking bullish here on the MACD. So that's pretty good. Like overall, just from basic analysis, it actually looks pretty decent out there at the moment. In terms of Ethereum versus US dollars, Ethereum, well, first of all, we need to be looking at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, of which dropped down 1.79% today. I mean, from my perspective, Ethereum isn't the play at this point in time. Look, if Bitcoin ETF is going to be approved, Bitcoin is going to be the key market driver for the next while. Altcoins, Ethereum will take a backseat if it does look like an ETF is going to be approved, but then you will see them surge very significantly when Bitcoin is kind of trading sideways. That's when you're going to see the big booms in the altcoin market. That's when you're going to see the booms in the Ethereum market. So in terms of Ethereum, how are we looking? Well, we need to drop down to the 1 hour, of which we can then assess these price levels. So again, we've stuck at this price level here around $1,730. If we need to break up to the next level, that means we need to break the high here at $1,750, and a break of $1,750 from my perspective would take us somewhere up to around 1,850 up here. It should be a pretty significant jump, being there is no liquidity in this range, and the next range of liquidity is all the way up here on the chart. So that's what you'd be expecting. And again, if Ethereum's looking that way and Bitcoin's looking that way, the odds of it happening seem to generally increase. Like generally things are looking pretty decent right now. It's time to put that celebration music on, because we hit a big one for the first time in a while. That's not looking as good as what it was, is it? Either way, we did hit a big one. It is looking really good, and the entire crypto market is popping right now. It's very nice to see. One thing that isn't popping, that might make a resurgence in days to come, is TAP. TAP is currently down at 15.18 sats, which is pretty low for TAP. It was actually higher than that when I started filming today's video, but I think someone has sold during the course of the day, so that's no good. But either way, I'm quite excited about this. I think that this is a good price level for me to be accumulating again. So I'm going to accumulate some more and see what happens. Either way, again, the more of it I hold, the less of it everyone else holds. Good for me when the price goes up. That's what we want. Yeah, Bitcoin looking good. What an amazing day. Thank you all very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, slap a like on it. If you like it when Bitcoin goes up, slap a like on it. If you want this channel to grow, which you should do because that means the entire market's growing, then do send my videos to your friends. I'd appreciate it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.